Welcome back students. Now I am in my second video would like to explain how the reproduction occurs in case of females. When I said in females, it well understood that now the organs are changed, as in case of females we are having a well developed reproductive system and more complex than the males. The reason behind it is the way of body developmental changes and the spatial activity of showing the viviparous behavior. What are viviparous animals? The animals which have the ability to give birth to a baby. So, when we are saying that we have the capability of showing internal fertilization, direct development, as well as having the ability to produce a baby of having a gestation period of 9 months, it means that our organs are more specialized as compared to any other animal of a kingdom. Anyways, I would like to explain the female reproductive system with some of the respective organs. The major organs involved in the female reproductive system are ovaries, secondary sex organs, external genitalia, and mammary glands. Although these are the organs which having the specialized cells, but above all they all are having a well developed endocrine system built in itself. What does it means? It means that इन सब के अंदर खुद कुछ ना कुछ ऐसी स्पेशलाइज सेल्स ज़रूर पाई जाती हैं जो अपने आप ही इस पूरे के पूरे रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम को हार्मोनल सिक्रीशंस के थ्रू एनरिच करती रहती हैं, जिसकी वजह से पूरा रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम फीमेल्स के अंदर टाइम टू टाइम खुद को रेगुलेट करके अकॉर्डिंग टू द कंडीशन सारी एक्टिविटीज़ को परफॉर्म करता है. सो लेट्स बिगिन विद द फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम. In case of female reproductive system, the most primary organ involved is ovaries. Ovaries are one in pair. They are responsible to produce female gametes called ova and helpful in secreting female sex hormones. All these female sex hormones are released from the ovaries, and there are some of the supportive structures too. Ovaries are basically the primary female sex organ. It is located each of them at the lower side, each side of the lower abdomen. That means these structures or the placement of ovary you can see here is just lying at the lower region of the abdomen. If I can show you, you can see that the placement of the ovary in this picture. The ovary is basically almond shaped structure. Almond means बादाम के शेप का स्ट्रक्चर है. लेंथ अप्रॉक्स 2 to 4 सेंटीमीटर है और चौड़ाई या विथ 1.5 सेंटीमीटर है. So I can say that its structure is quite small as above our expectation. So this particular structure of ovary is directly connected with some of the ligamental structures which are at the pelvic wall region and near to the uterus. So I can say that ovary is basically supported by two regions. One is the uterus and second one is the pelvic wall. Now it's a turn for the internal structure of the ovary. If I say the internal structure of the ovary, that we are going to study little bit later, but in a brief I can say that ovary is covered with a thin epithelial structure encloses in the ovarian stroma. What is ovarian stroma? It is a particular structure. When you divide the ovary, then you get to know that ovary is having two regions. One, the outer one is known as cortex and the middle and the interior one is known as medulla. blood cells and the blood supply both are present very high in the medullary region of the ovary. All these points I will repeat once more when I come for the TS of the ovary. Now, I proceed further to tell you more about the region that help you in understanding about the ovary. Ovary is basically a structure which starts developing within the fetus time of a female child. What does it mean? It means that फीमेल चाइल्ड जब अपनी मदर के टमी में होता है उसी समय ओवरी डेवलपमेंट स्टार्ट हो जाता है. This is an specific achievement that we people or females are having comparatively to that of males. In females, if we talk about that, ovaries are connected with a structure called fallopian tube, and this fallopian tube further connected with the uterus, and that uterus is finally connected with the vagina. You people can able to see that the ovary is going to have the connectivity with the fallopian tube, and the fallopian tube is having a connectivity with the uterus, and uterus is having a connectivity with the vagina. So it means to say that all these organs are interconnected and helping in the fertilization and post-fertilization developments in a female. So now in the second figure that I would like to explain more better about the placement of the ovary and the parts involved in the fallopian tube. You all can able to see here that this is a ray diagram, or you can say hand-made diagram to help you in understanding. The diagram of female reproductive system is not so fuzzy as each and every child is thinking about. Although the placement of the organs is always fixed, so you have to learn it. Come back to this one diagram, you can able to see that the ovary is placed at this one region and connected with different types of ligaments. That ovary is coming in a contact of one more particular structure is known as fimbriae. What is fimbriae? Fimbriae is basically the starting region having a finger-like appearance responsible for collecting the ova released from the ovary. One more interesting point I would like to share here. Ovaries alternately release one egg cell from one ovary. Although it is not decided which ovary will release the ova at that particular month, but even then it was expected that both the ovaries are not able to release ova all together at the same time. So I can say that the ovaries are having a so specialized capability of releasing the ova one at a time. Here you can see that I am going to tell the fimbriae is further of fallopian tube connected with the other regions. That regions are basically known to be as the fundus region, infundibulum. These all are the regions, isthmus and ampulla. I repeat my words again and again. Fallopian tube is carrying some of the regions, and that regions are going to help them in describing the complete movement of ova during the menstrual cycle. The first and the most important region of the starting of a fallopian tube is known as fimbriae. Fimbriae is further being connected in the region known as infundibulum. This region is basically known as infundibulum. After this infundibulum, the region where the fertilization occurs majorly is known as ampulla region. After that ampulla region, the ending occurs is a region known as isthmus, and finally the proliferated region is known as fundus. So I can say that all these regions are all together help in describing the movement of the ova during the menstrual cycle. Anyways, when I proceed further, I can say that the female reproductive organs are interconnected with each other. The second organ with the fallopian tube is connected, known as uterus. You people can have a particular clear diagram of the uterus. In this you can see that the uterus is having the thick lining or layering. These layerings are basically responsible in describing the functioning of the uterus at the time of post-fertilization events. So, in understanding this one activity, we can say that this particular structure is having endometrium wall, having myometrium wall. These two are the layers which helping in the development of a baby for 9 months inside the female body. If I say it's an endometrium wall, it means that that wall is having a capability of providing the nutrition to the fetus. How it is possible? Because this endometrium wall always in every month gets the better blood supply, so that blood supply help in the development and growth of a fetus, which is going to survive in a female body for 9 months. Myometrium is a particular layer which is rich with the muscular cells. This muscular region is having a capability to provide flexibility and comfort to the fetus. So, these two are the most important layers present in the uterus. Here, one more interesting thing I want to share is the ending of the uterus is going to be called as cervix. Cervix is the opening of the uterus where the movement of sperms takes place after copulation. Once the mechanism of copulation begins, then the sperms start moving in from the cervix region. And the last and the most important part is known as vagina. It is the opening from where the females receives sperms from the males. So I hope this one structure of explaining is going to help you in understanding the functioning of the female reproductive system. So now I can correlate two terms together so that it is easy for you to understand the female reproductive system and the menstrual cycle. If I talk about the monthly cycle or menstrual cycle, that cycle means a process which is running per month in a female after the adolescence age. During that adolescence age, we can ask about how this particular process begins. In the adolescence age, every month carrying 28 days, and that 28 days are having a cycle known as monthly cycle. If I divide this cycle of 28 days, I can say that the cycle is divided into 4 weeks. The first and the primary week, if you are able to see here, is a week where the ovarian cycle begins. In this one, what is happening? In this cycle, all the cells of the uterus start, the endometrium layer of the uterus start receiving the good amount of blood supply. And that blood supply is going to help in increasing the growth of uterine wall. Simultaneously, at the same time, in the ovary, the cells called primary oocytes start developing. I have already told you in the ovary, the process of developing or running of meiotic cells or formation of primary oocytes begins within the fetus when the female is in the mother's womb. At the same time, millions of primary oocytes are developed, and that all primary oocytes are responsible to develop many and most of the particular similar sort of a cells. These primary oocytes remain as such when the female fetus develops as a baby and comes out from the mother's womb. So, till the age called teenage or adolescence age, these primary oocytes are unable to show any of the activity except for increasing or converting themselves into secondary oocytes. So, these primary oocytes, most of them get degenerated, but the leftover cells of primary oocytes are converting back into the secondary oocytes. During the developmental ages of secondary oocyte, what will happen? These secondary oocytes start undergoing the process of ovulation or entering into the menstrual cycle. So, what is happening in the menstrual cycle? The menstrual cycle starts with the first week, and in that first week, they are having the developmental initiation of any one of the primary oocyte. जैसे ही कोई भी प्राइमरी oocyte एकदम से एक्टिव होगी ओवरी में, तो फर्स्ट वीक के अंदर वो प्राइमरी oocyte पूरी तरीके से डेवलप होकर के सेकेंडरी oocyte में कन्वर्ट होना शुरू होगी. यू कैन सी इट हियर. जैसे जैसे सेकेंडरी oocyte का फॉर्मेशन होगा, वैसे वैसे प्रोसेस ऑफ ओव्यूलेशन का इनिशिएशन शुरू हो जाएगा. सेकेंड वीक में आते आते the process of ovulation about to finishes off. What does it mean? It means that second week means 14th day of the month. किसी भी मंथली साइकिल के 14वें या 14th डे पे ओव्यूलेशन का प्रोसेस होता है, एंड इन दैट ओव्यूलेशन प्रोसेस द सेकेंडरी oocyte start rupturing out and their ova or egg cell will released out. Once the ova and that egg cell is released out from the this particular follicular structure, this process of releasing is known as ovulation, and at the same time the hormone secretion increases. The most important hormone which start increasing that time is luteinizing hormone. The second most important hormone which start working at that process is known as follicular stimulating hormone. When these two hormones run together, then they start initiating the process of secretion of hormone called progesterone. This progesterone and estrogen, the two hormones which are going to be produced, are produced from the follicular leftover region of the ova, which is remain in the egg in the ovary. I repeat once more, the ovulation is a process of releasing of egg cell from the follicular structure developed in the secondary oocyte developmental stages. Once that follicular structure is being free from the egg cell, then they start moving towards the change in their color and a structure known as corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is a most specialized structure formed after the ovulation. Once the ovulation begins, the egg cell, you can see here, the egg cell start moving from fimbriary region of the fallopian tube to the ampulla and isthmus region. In the same time, what will happen? The uterus starts showing a thicker lining comparatively to this primary days. After the 14th day of ovulation, then that egg cell start reaching up to the region here called fallopian tubes. That region is known as ampulla. Here After the 14th, or you can say the initiation of the third week, the egg cell have to wait for approx 1 week so that it get fertilized. If it is not being get fertilized, then the process of bleeding begins. But if it get fertilized, the post fertilization activities initiates. What will going to happen in the third week? In the third week, the corpus luteum starts showing the process of degeneration with the release of hormones known as estrogen. The release of estrogen and progesterone. These two hormones collectively going to activate the synthesis of embryo after the fertilization. But even then, they are responsible for the reproductive growth of a female. At the same moment, when the fourth week is going to initiate, this corpus luteum start converting into corpus albicans, and this albicans finally get degenerate within the ovary. At the same time, what is going to happen? If the ova or egg cell which is present in this ampulla region do not get activated or do not get fertilized, then this egg start degenerating in the fourth week of the menstrual cycle. In the menstrual cycle, in the fourth week, that egg cell start degenerating, and finally with the bleeding process, all that waste material, basically the endometrium wall deposition of a blood as well as this ova, released out through vagina, and this process ends the menstrual cycle of a female for that month. This complete process includes 28 days to finish it off. This is a process in which the females have to undergo many developmental changes, along with that various or varietal hormonal secretions. So this is a one process which is necessary for the females to show their reproductive activities. Here I would like to add one more important point, that whenever the developmental changes occurs in the females, at that time you can able to see here these specific structures are being formed. What is going to happen? The primordial follicular structure is being existed when the females are entering into the age of adolescence within the ovary. Then the ovaries start developing a specific structure known as zona pallidum layer all around the egg cell. This zona pallidum layer is going to help egg cell to show their protectiveness and good growth. At the same time, structures start developing around the egg cell by layering one above the other, and finally they will form a thick follicular structure which embedded or carrying a egg cell within. This particular egg cell, once being get active, become active or converted into a secondary oocyte, they are having an outer covering of this type of a follicular structure, and in between they are carrying the ovum. This ovum have to be get released out in the third week, and this process is known as ovulation. Once the ova is being released out, this external structure of the follicular deposition start drying themselves or getting constricted and converting into a yellow colored structure. It is a significant structure and with a significant color. This yellow color structure is known to be as corpus luteum, and this one structure being get disintegrated or degenerated as the process of menstrual cycle ends. I hope all these diagrams are going to help you in understanding the concept of pre-fertilization stages. Now, the last but not the least, I would like to say that there is a one structure also present in the females, that is developing all together with the menstrual cycle. Although its primary function is only being visible after the giving a birth to a baby. But before that, that particular structure known as the mammary glands of the breast in a females start developing simultaneously so that whenever the baby is going to be present after the fertilization and when the delivery occurs, the females are capable to feed their own baby. This is the specialized feature that usually the mammals carry as the same human females. I hope this lecture is going to help you and motivate you in understanding many of the activities. Okay, I just like to introduce some more better words for understanding this one concept little bit as a fast recap. We have introduced or studied 4-5 words. One is the primary follicular structure. Second one is the zona pellucida. Third one, the presence or the formation of a corona radiata. The formation or a step called ovulation. We have studied one more word, corpus luteum. Along with that, we have understand the concept of hormonal secretions like progesterone, estrogen. Along with that, we have understand the concept known to be as the presence of the regions in the fallopian tube like fimbriae, isthmus, then fundus, ampulla. I hope all these terms will remain in your mind forever whenever you are going to study the chapter. Thank you and have a nice time.